the mortgage. I can't afford it, for God's sake. I am not throwing you and the kids out. I'm simply
Why
saying
don't you tell her to
sell
give
it
you a
and
break?
split
It's
the
after 9
profits.
o'clock.
No, not 50-50. I didn't mean
Been
that.
on that phone for half an hour.
Yes, of course you can have more because you've got the children. Yes, of course.
But better still, put the phone down on her. She's
Look,
nuts.
then I
listening
am
to
very
you.
tired and I'm very
Let
hungry.
her keep
I will
the
call you
house.
later.
I don't care.
I said I will call you later. Oh, I just can't reason with her. She won't listen to me.
Tell her to keep the goddamn house.
Yeah, that's not the point. I can't afford to keep her and pay out for this place.
But I'll pay all the rent if necessary.
No, you won't. She's just trying to blackmail me.
Then do something about it. Go and see her. Just stop with the phone calls every bloody night.
Oh, you're fine. I'll go and see her. I'm up to here with this case, but fine, I will go and see her.
Well, she's your wife. There's nothing I can do. Unless you want me to go and see her for you.
Just to stay out of it, Pat.
Yes? Hi. Are you Lynn Walker? Yes. I'm Pat North. I don't want to talk to you. Well, I think that we really should. Let's not play games. I think we need to talk. Thanks.
Look, I've got someone here. Look, could you pick them up from school? Yeah. Yeah, I'll collect them later. Yeah, usual time. All right. Okay, thanks, Liz. Yeah, bye. I wondered what you'd look like. I asked the kids, but they just said you were tall.
Yeah, I suppose I am.
Taller than Mike? Then that's not too hard. His mother said she'd met you.
Yeah. Lynn, I came to see if we could come to some sort of amicable solution.
Sure. Tell Mike to give me this house and everything's amicable.
He can't afford it.
That is not my problem. This is his children's home. This is my home. I love this house.
Well, yeah, but it is enormous for just the three of you. I mean, it does need a hell of a lot of maintenance.
Oh, what would he know? He doesn't live here, remember?
Well, he knows because he pays the bills.
They're his kids! Before you came along, it wasn't a problem paying for the house.
Well, something has to give, Lynn, and I think we should at least discuss it.
Come with me. Mike built that for Amy. And the big train set was more his than Richard's. He spent hours up here when he came home from work. He built all this.
Listen, Lynn, I want you to know that Mike had already moved out when we started seeing each other.
But with you around, he never got the space we separated for. He was going to come back.
You still love him, don't you?
He's my husband. The father of my children. You are breaking up my family. They ask after him every day. It's not fair to them. They miss him so much. I miss him. I want him to come home. This is where he belongs. This is where he belongs. This is where he belongs.
Detective Superintendent Walker to 34 Callerton Road. Over.
It's Walker. I'm on my way.
Don't know what to do. I just feel I'm on the verge of tears the whole time. So, what should I do? I don't think I've got anything else to say today. Don't really see any point in my being here.
You should grieve for your baby.
Yeah, I know. But I'm not that used to expressing my emotions. And Mike's the same. We talk to each other about work all the time, sure, but no, we don't talk about us or the baby, whatever. No, I can't talk to him. He can't talk to me. I wouldn't know where to start.
Telling him how you feel about the baby would be a good start.
Yeah, but I think I'd have to pay him 40 quid an hour if I wanted him to listen. It's so unfair that it had to happen. And it happened to me, not to him. It happened to me. It's a little girl, baby. Because they asked me if I wanted to hold her. Oh, God. I wish I had. Oh. Oh.
Where you going, Jeff? Well, probably nothing, but I thought you'd want to see it smooth with the floorboards in the bedroom.
Can we get the lid off?
What the hell are you doing? Get back! Back up!
Hi, Superintendent Walker, is
Mom, you can't
Is he out
park your
there?
car there!
Excuse me,
Mom,
please.
Mom!
Oh, my God.
Mike, I'm sorry. I need to talk to you.
Satch, get her out of here.
No, Mike, this is important. I need to speak to you.
Satch, get her downstairs now.
Mike. Oh, my God. It's a baby.
Yes, Pat. Now, will you please go downstairs and wait for me there? Satch, keep her out of here.
Pat, wait!
Pat, are you all right?
Pat! Wait! Pat? I was holding that little baby in my arms. Where's the baby? A little tiny baby. Where's my baby, Viv?
She lost the baby. Sorry, Mike.
Sorry I'm late. Did you get my message?
Yeah. Thanks.
Kathleen Norton's coming in for questioning tomorrow. So we're really moving forward. How was some entrance you made at the site today? What was all that about?
I went to see Lynn,
What?
which is why I wanted to talk to you. I thought I should try to speak to her and make her see things your way.
Hey, I really appreciate the thought, but I don't need you fighting my battles for me.
Don't you? Or maybe you should take the time to fight them yourself. Well, I didn't realise that she still loves you, that she wants you back.
Yeah, Pat, I love you. I am not going back to Lynn.
Well, why don't you go and tell her that? Finish things properly, just stop bottling out.
Yeah, I will. I will go and see her.
When?
Will you stop putting pressure on me? I'm under enough strain as it is.
And when?
Well, I will go after work tomorrow. Is that okay? But I will sort this out, I promise you.
It's a female fetus, reached about 8 months. I can't at this stage give any details about the cause of death or when it was buried.
But forensics can still test for DNA, yeah?
They can't determine the paternity from the bone DNA, only the maternity.
There were stains on the towel the baby was found in.
Yes. I suppose if there's fetal blood, they should be able to obtain the full DNA profile from that.
Hello, Kathleen.
I can't stay long. My mother can't cope on her own. I've had to get someone in to do the lunches.
Will you take a seat? We'll be as quick as we can, Kathleen. Can you identify for me, please, on this drawing of the first floor of number 34 Hallerton Road, the room marked with a cross?
That was my bedroom.
Tell us about your relationship with Kathleen Norton.
Relationship? I've never had a relationship with her.
Mr. Richards, you lived in the same house for nearly a year.
Whatever she tells you about me is a lie.
I'm afraid we've made a very tragic discovery. We discovered the remains of a baby under the floorboards in that room. Can you tell me anything about it? Kathleen, I need to know how the remains of a baby came to be buried under the floorboards in your bedroom. We are currently testing a towel, bloodstained, that was wrapped around the remains. From the blood, we will be able to extract DNA. Do you understand what this means?
Of course I do. I was a nurse.
What?
Would you be prepared to give us a DNA sample to eliminate you from our inquiries?
I don't need to. It was my baby.
For the first few weeks I was there, I got on quite well with Kathleen. I felt quite sorry for her, actually. She didn't seem to have any friends. But after a while, I got a bit wary, you know? I thought she might fancy me. She was always following me around like a puppy dog, making tea and snacks and bringing them to my room. Anyway, one night I got a bit drunk and came back, crashed out, and next thing I knew, she's climbing into bed with me.
He was drunk. He came into my room and he raped me.
Why didn't you tell us this before?
It's not something you talk about. It was terrible.
When did this happen?
Saturday, September the 11th, 1982.
So you had sex with her?
Well, she said I did.
Or did you, or didn't you?
I can't remember if I did or not.
I couldn't tell anyone. Not my mother or my father. Especially Dad, as he got on so well with Graham. I suggested he leave, but Dad needed his help with the renovations.
I wanted to make sure there'd be no more visits, so I put a lock on my door. And I think she tried it again, and when she found it was locked, that's when she started to avoid me. You know, she used to run upstairs to her room whenever she saw me. That's all it was, I swear, you know. It's just a one-night stand.
This is a very serious allegation, Kathleen.
It's not an allegation, it's the truth. Graham Richards raped me. And if you want to know if I'm telling the truth, then get him to give you his DNA. Graham Richards is the father of my baby.
Satchel,
Interview suspended at 12:23. Detective Sergeant Satchel.
He's just admitted having sexual relationship with Kathleen Norton.
I have just discovered Kathleen Norton used to be a nurse, and I had to wait for her to tell me. How the hell did you miss that one? We've got computers coming out of every orifice, technology that can beam me up to bloody Mars. Not one of you, not one can tell me Kathleen used to be a nurse. I would say this puts a completely different slant on the case, wouldn't you? It puts her right in the frame.
She didn't mention it in interview. I mean, are you sure she's qualified? If she's not qualified...
Look, I want all her records. I want to know everything about her. Get Batchley out of his bloody mud hole. Give him the news. See if he can do any better.
What do you want me to do with Richards?
Right now, I want a DNA swab from him. I want a solicitor for her. And I want you to go and talk to that mother, see if she knows anything about goddamn bloody baby.
I never raped her. I had sex with her once, just once. But I told you, I'd had too much to drink. She came into my room, not the other way around. She was after me. I couldn't stand her following me around, pestering me.
Did she ever say anything to you about being pregnant?
I didn't want anything to do with him. I couldn't tell him about the baby. I wanted to forget about him and just look forward to having my child.
So you were going to keep the baby?
Yes, of course I was.
Did you ever consider an abortion?
No!
Kathleen, do you need to take a break?
No. I want the truth to come out about him and about what happened. I was all alone, you see. I was all alone. And when my waters broke, I knew it was too early. I went down to the cellar, and I knew by the way the contractions were coming that hardly a minute between them.
Sit down. Kathleen.
She didn't move. She didn't cry. She just was still and lifeless in my arms. I tried to make her breathe. There was nothing I could do. Oh, God. Oh, my God.
Kathleen. Sit this. Just try to stay calm.
Kathleen, if you wanted the baby so badly, why didn't you go to the hospital once your waters had broke?
There wasn't time. The only one I could have made it to was St. Jude's, and I couldn't go there.
Why not?
Well, I worked there. None of my colleagues knew I was pregnant.
Who else knew about this?
No one. Everyone just thought I was putting on weight.
What did you do once you realized the baby was dead?
I went upstairs, back to my bedroom. I wrapped her in a towel, and then I hid the body. I put her under the floorboards, and I pulled my bed over her.
Hello there. I'm Sister Osborne. What can I do you for?
Detective Inspector Batchelor.
Hello.
I'm trying to trace anyone that might remember a nurse that worked here about 17 years ago.
Yeah, Kathleen Norton, right. Well, you're in luck. She started here at the same time as me. So fire away with your questions. I can't be long. I've got bed baths to get on with. Debbie, will you take over on Mr. Hughes? Yes. I've left the poor man half naked.
Can you tell me if you ever saw Kathleen Norton with any of these three women?
She didn't really socialise much at work, and, I don't recognise them at all. Too young for this ward.
Well, tell me what you do know about Kathleen.
Well, she was nice enough. We got on well. She was quite a private person. I always felt she never let anyone get too close.
Did she have a boyfriend? Somebody that might know her a little better?
Well, she did have a boyfriend for a little while. He was a cleaner here, Ed or Eric or something, but don't ask me his surname. I do remember one thing that happened. It surprised everybody, her being like she was. They got caught having nookie in one of the offices. Were both given serious warnings. Oh, the only bit of action this place has ever seen. She was a very good nurse, though, Kathleen. Very caring.
Do you remember her being pregnant?
Pregnant? Oh, Lord, no, I don't. Was the cleaner the father?
No. Did she have any dealings with the maternity department?
Well, if she was pregnant, she'd have had herself checked out. Oh, but not through her work here. This is the geriatric ward. We've never had a pregnant 80-year-old. Mind you, some of them are very sprightly. They get up to all sorts. The maternity clinic is over the way, through the double doors at the end.
That's great. Thanks for your time.
Oh, I'll ask round about that cleaner. Edgar, was it? Well, personnel will have his name.
Cheers. Thanks.
Gov, we have Richards for another hour unless we go for an extension.
So you're not going to arrest Kathleen for concealing the birth of a child?
No, we need to wait for the DNA results to see if she's telling the truth. The baby could still be Ingrid Kessler's.
Why would she lie?
Who knows what goes through a woman's mind where a baby's concerned? We'll let them both go until then.
What about the fingerprint on the belt?
I've spoken to the fingerprint officer. Foreign print on the buckle is Kathleen's.
And you're still going to let her go?
Yes, until we see the bigger picture. Who knows what else we've missed.
I don't know why she's saying these things. Kathleen is a good Catholic girl.
We have found the remains of a baby, Mrs. Norton. And Kathleen
I
is
don't know why she's admitting it. It's not true.
So you didn't know anything about your daughter's pregnancy?
I find this all very distressing. My daughter has got to come home. The grocery shop won't deliver the order this week. And now this.
Do you recall any boyfriends or relationships that Kathleen might have had at that time?
Look, my daughter is a good, caring woman. But she's never shown any interest in that sort of thing. And the idea of her being pregnant, well, it's just ludicrous.
This is the last hole I'm drilling.
Did you find the roll plugs?
Yeah, they're here. Would you hand one up to me, please?
Oh, little or big?
A little one and a hammer. Thanks.
Yeah.
Now listen, is this in the right place? I don't want to drill another hole.
That's fine.
That is really nice, isn't it? It's lovely. Who took it?
Well, you did. Well, don't you remember?
When?
That time we went to that theme park and you... on the water shoot. You said we'd be safer sitting at the back because you only get wet if you sit at the front. Came over the sides, you got soaked.
Passengers in front stayed dry and I get screwed.
Cat was floating in the water. No, we had some good laughs, didn't we?
Yeah.
We loved having you here tonight.
Don't they?
Do you know what you're throwing away? I mean, Pat seems nice enough, but we're your family.
Look, it's late. It's been a long day. Let me talk about it tomorrow. I promised the kids I'd pick them up at lunchtime.
When exactly are we going to talk about it tomorrow if you're out with the kids all day?
But why don't you come with us? Eh? It'll be good for them to see us both together.
That's very brave of you. You sure we can manage a whole day and remain civilized?
Hey, we managed it this evening, didn't we? Can I?
Good morning, London. A lovely Saturday morning in the city. Coming up, the news and
Hello.
weather. But first, at 6:07.
You're up early.
Yeah. We had a big breakthrough at work yesterday. I didn't want to break my promise to the kids. I would pick them up later. So I've got to go into the office now.
But it's only 6:30 or something, isn't it? What time did you get in last night?
Yeah, it was about midnight. But we're all going on early. No weekend break. I'm a cruel taskmaster.
Oh, did you manage to have a word with Lynn?
Yeah, sort of. I was going to talk to you about it last night, but you were pretty flat out. Look, I really need to go, Pat. We'll talk about it later, huh? Bye. Lynn, you know I can't just drop everything. I am doing my best. I'm just extremely busy. I will get there as soon as I possibly can. I'll see you later. Look, Saj, I've got to go, okay? I promised Lynn and the kids I would take them out. Can you cover for me till I get back?
Yeah, no problem. You go.
Look, thanks. I appreciate it. Yes. Mwah. Hello, Princess.
Late again?
How are you? I know I'm late, but listen, I stopped up to buy this. Now stand by, kids, and watch what it is, yeah? Ta-da! What, it's a kite? Come on, the wind's getting up. Let's all go fly it. What do you say, Lynn? Fancy flying a kite in Primrose Hill?
Yep, see you, mate.
Hi.
You missed a great match. We won.
Oh, well done. Where do you want to celebrate?
And got one.
Your choice, my treat.
Why?
It's a thank you.
Well, in that case, vintage champagne and the Ritz it is.
Nice try. Go on, get in.
Len! You don't pull it towards you, yeah? I let it out, okay? I let it go, and you reel it out. You don't pull it till the wind's got behind it. Richard, you're standing on the tail of the kite. Hey. Okay, now are we ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah?
I'm ready. I've been standing here for half an hour. Go and throw it up.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Oh. I pulled it. I swear I pulled the bloody thing.
There you go.
Cheers.
Listen, about the other day at the murder scene, I wasn't going to bring it up, but...
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I was just...
You don't need to explain. I didn't want you to think I was ignoring what happened. You were upset, and it's...
Yeah, I was. But I'm fine now. I really am.
You don't want to talk about it?
No, not really. Do you mind?
Of course not. So how are things?
Fine. Mike's off seeing his kids this afternoon.
Really? I thought he'd be in work, but with all the shit that went down yesterday.
Why, what happened?
Kathleen Norton claimed that Graham Richards raped her, that the baby was theirs. And then we discovered she'd worked as a nurse, at which point Mike went ballistic.
I'm not surprised. Nursing's a pretty big lead to have missed. So has that helped you come any closer to establishing a link between the victims?
Well, not really. Kerry Willis, teenage runaway heroin user. Ingrid Kessler, pregnant German dancer.
Pregnant? One of your victims was pregnant?
Well, according to our witness, but we don't know who the father was, or even if she had the baby.
Well, there's your link. There do seem to be rather a lot of babies involved in this case. What about antenatal clinics? Check them out?
Not yet.
Come on, you just said that Kathleen Norton was a nurse.
On the geriatric ward.
Oh, come on. Surely it would be worth checking them to see whether or not your pregnant victim visited the same hospital.
Hey, look at that, guys. It's up. Woo!
Dad's phone's ringing. Just press the button. The red one, quick! Sorry. We're going to miss the film. No, we won't.
Hey, come and have a go.
That is pretty, though. Look, it's doing somersaults.
Hey, come on, you lot.
Hi. How's the match?
We won. Where's everyone else?
Doug's out chasing up phone calls, satchels around somewhere, and God knows where the gov is. Disappeared this morning and hasn't returned yet.
Ooh. Just the skeleton stuff, then.
God.
You know, we ought to be checking out local maternity clinic records.
Richard!
Will you stop snoring? Thought about building clay heads?
No, the best way to identify a skeleton is through its teeth. Besides, my budget is overstretched as it is.
It doesn't matter, just a suggestion.
Yeah, thanks, but no thanks. Morning, everybody. We've got the DNA results. The baby was Kathleen Norton's, and the father was Graham Richards.
Bloody hell, you mean he actually slept with her?
Why shouldn't he?
Well, come on, you've seen her.
What? She can't have sex because she's not beautiful.
Well, no, but you've got to admit she's pretty bloody weird.
Chauvinist pigs like you on the case, the poor woman doesn't stand a chance.
We need more evidence to link Kathleen to our victims.
Well, let's wait and see what we get back from St. Jude's. I've got them checking their maternity records, see if any of our girls paid them a visit. And there's a hospital cleaner that had a relationship with Kathleen Norton. Mr...
Edward Colley. I'm already trying to trace him.
My, we are on the ball, aren't we?
So, are we going to arrest them both?
No, Kathleen's already admitted the baby was hers, and Richards already said he slept with her once. There's no reason for him to know he hadn't got her pregnant.
I'm afraid there's no record of any of your names coming here for antenatal checkups.
Oh,
but, as you merely said they were pregnant, I took the liberty of going through the termination of pregnancy files as well. They weren't on the computer. I checked back in the records, and you're in luck.
What?
Ingrid Kessler and Kerry Willis both visited the clinic here.
Both for abortions?
Yeah, but neither had one. They were both over the legal term.
She was right. Pat said pregnancy was our link.
It's just laid out in just an old towel. It's a baby. I couldn't look at it. We had the nursery decorated and the cot and the mobile and everything. Everything was just brilliant. Except, of course, it wasn't. I can't bear this pain. I can't bear this emptiness. It's here. They just won't seem to go. I feel really frightened all the time. Really, don't think I've ever felt quite so frightened about anything. I'm frightened. I suppose I'm frightened that I'm never going to be able to have a baby. And I'm frightened that maybe I can't love Mike. I do blame myself, but I blame him too, because for not being there, because, yeah, I blame him for what happened. I want all this to go away. So, I can't eat. And I can't sleep. I can't function, really.
Mr. Colley?
I'm fully booked today.
Can you come outside a minute? We need to ask you some questions.
Can I help you?
Mrs. Day.
Yes.
Good afternoon. Detective Sergeant Satchel, Metropolitan Police. This is Detective Constable West. We're working on a murder inquiry, which I hope you may be able to help us with.
Help you with a murder inquiry?
Yes, you might have seen it on the news, the house in Kilburn where the remains were discovered.
Yes, it's been all over the TV.
So how can I help?
Do you mind if we sit down?
Oh, yes, sorry. Go ahead.
We understand that in July 1983 you visited the termination clinic of St Jude's Hospital, North London. Is that correct?
No. You must have me mistaken for someone else.
Were you formerly Hannah Palmer?
Yes, but there must be another Hannah Palmer. You must have it mixed up. Sorry.
Fine. I'm sorry to have troubled you. Perhaps you can show us to the front door. Thank you very much, Mr. Day.
You're welcome. Sorry we couldn't have been of help.
Mrs. Day, I know this is very personal, but hospital records do show that a Hannah Palmer of 45 Learbury Avenue did visit the termination clinic. Are you saying you never lived at that address?
My husband doesn't know. I didn't go through with it. I had the baby adopted. Is this about him?
No, don't know any of them. Oh, God almighty, I read about these women.
It's the skeletons. It's been in all the papers, this.
You didn't see Miss Norton with any of these women at the hospital?
No, I don't think I did. Oh, holy shit, I've got nothing to do with this.
Were you aware that Miss Norton was pregnant 17 years ago?
Bloody hell, no. It's not mine. She wouldn't let me touch her. What's she said?
She hasn't said anything, Mr. Colley. The baby's not yours.
Well, that's a relief. Thought she was... Well, I didn't know what she could have said, but she screamed blue murder at the time.
What about?
Well, about me making a pass at her. She slapped me when I tried to kiss her. Told me she'd scream rape, but I didn't mean to scare her.
What did you want?
Well, it's obvious.
Not to me, it isn't. What did you want?
Sex. Thought she was up for it.
What gave you that impression?
Well, she followed me around when I was doing my rounds.
Cleaning?
Yeah. Oh, I tease her a bit.
What about?
Oh, God, I don't know. About her size, I guess. Me being so skinny, her so big, made me laugh. Gave her a kiss. Nothing heavy, a kiss, and she went all coy. Next office we come to, she says she'll wait for me there. So I whip round cleaning like a mad thing, but when I get back, she's changed her mind, told me to get out.
Why was that, do you think?
Well, I don't know. Well, it looked like she was doing some work. She was in the filing cabinet. I went to give her a bit of a grope, and then Sister Lewis barges in and catches us.
This was in the geriatric ward?
Oh, Sister Lewis was maternity, I think.
There was this nurse.
Outside the hospital?
Yeah. She came up and asked if I was all right. She was ever so nice. Very comforting. I ended up telling her what had gone on, and she said she might be able to help me.
Did you say in what way she could help you?
She said she knew someone who could do an abortion, even though I was so far gone. She said it would cost a lot of money, about £200, I think. I said I didn't have the money, but then she said it didn't matter. It was really odd. One minute she was asking me for money, and the next it didn't seem to matter. It made me suspicious.
Did you say where you would have to go?
I don't think so. I can't really remember, but I think it was a private arrangement.
Do you remember what this nurse looked like?
Kind of. She was quite big, strong. She gripped my hand so tightly it scared me.
There you go. Hey, we're playing bingo tonight. I'll be your partner. A little bit more. Let's try and get some more of this done, you know. There. Lovely.
Hello?
Hi, Jeff. It's me. Can I come in?
Yeah, come on up.
Hi. Hope you don't mind me turning up on your doorstep.
Of course not. Come on in.
Thanks. I don't think that things are going to work out between me and Mike.
I'm sorry.
I kind of knew it was coming, and then with us meeting up again and seeing a bit of each other, it kind of helped me come to a decision.
Listen, I meant what I said about being a friend, but I don't want you to take that the wrong way.
How do you mean?
Well, I'm exactly what I said. A friend. Yeah, Mike's my boss, and well, I respect him in a strange sort of way.
Oh, hi. I'm sorry, I didn't know anyone was here.
Justine, this is Pat North.
Hi. Pleased to meet you.
She's just got back from a long-haul flight. Do you want a glass of water?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay.
sorry. Got it all confused. I mean, you're absolutely right. There's no point going back.
You'll work it out.
Yeah. Hi, you're late. Where have you been?
Having a drink with Satch. What about you? You been out tonight?
Yeah. I've only been back 10 minutes or so, actually.
So were you with Vivian like you were the other night? What's been going on the past few weeks, Pat? I don't like being lied to.
Well, if you really want to know various things, I've been seeing a shrink.
Well, that's what he is now, is it? Interesting sideline for Batchley. Amazing how you can talk to him and you can't even talk to me. Why did you lie to me, Pat? I know you've been talking to Batchley. Why? Why can't you talk to me?
Well, because you never ever want to listen. Yeah, all right, I have been seeing Batchley. He's been a good friend to me, and I've needed a friend because I've been bloody miserable. Which is why I have also been seeing a shrink, okay? Just leave me alone, will you, Mike?
Why didn't you tell me you were seeing a therapist?
Because I knew how you'd react.
What do you talk about? You talk about us?
What do you think?
And what does this therapist think? Does he think we have a future?
She doesn't make rash judgments. You know, you're the one who would be seeing someone.
Why the hell should I see a shrink?
Because you've got some serious sorting out to do. I saw you and Lynn and the kids going into the cinema. Yeah, and before your paranoia kicks in, no, I wasn't following you. I was checking out the times of a film that I thought we could see together. No, hang on. Just let me finish. I felt like I was an intruder. No, I did. I felt like I was intruding on what your life could be with your wife and your kids. You look like this proper family, one that I had absolutely nothing to do with. I so wanted a family with you.
I really want to make this work.
We need help. Would you come and see Sylvia, my shrink, with me?
How could a total stranger help?
I don't know. Maybe because she is just that, a total stranger. I mean, she could act as a kind of mediator between us. I mean, I'm not even sure I like her that much, but I think she's good at her job. She could help us talk to each other. I don't know.
Take your time.
That's her. Yes, that's definitely the woman outside the hospital.
What do you want now?
Kathleen
Why can't
Norton,
you leave me
I'm
alone?
arresting you on suspicion of the murders of Kerry Willis, Ingrid
Go away.
Kessler, and a
Get
third
away from
as
me.
yet unidentified girl. You do
Get
not
out.
have to say anything, but it may not be your defense. You do not have to. When you question the situation, anything you do say
Hey.
There you are then, mate.
Cheers. Hey, up. Get your laughing gear around that.
Oh, thanks, pal. Oh, God, I needed this. You know, I thought Kathleen was going to need a straitjacket when she didn't get bail.
Yeah, well, at least now she's been charged, you can breathe a little easier.
Me? What's that supposed to mean?
I think Richard should have been charged too. There's a lot of evidence against him. Why not charge them both? Let them fight it out in court. At least then we covered ourselves, yeah?
Yeah, you may be happy just covering yourself. I want to get it right, Satch.
Oh, you're not going on about the nursing thing again.
I know he didn't do it. I mean, coming forward, claiming ownership of the murder weapon is hardly deflecting suspicion from himself.
Oh, come on. Criminals are always putting themselves in the frame for stuff they did.
Yeah, but usually by pointing to someone else.
Fact. He lived in a house where we think they died. Fact. He helped lay the patio. Fact. His belt was found round the neck of one of the victims.
I still feel he's innocent. Hey, if I'm wrong, it's my head for the job, not yours.
Yeah, well, you said it.
Tanner says I'm right.
You are wrong.
What do you want, Kathleen?
I can't sleep.
But you were given something earlier.
Well, it didn't work.
I always count sheep.
Yes, but you haven't been accused of murder.
Would you like a hot drink?
Yes, please. I need to get some sleep. I'm seeing my barrister tomorrow and I need to make a good impression.
I'll get you some hot milk.
Oh, and a chocolate biscuit.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you.
I know. Sometimes wonder if I've done the right thing, Satch.
Well, there's no backing out of that, mate. 10 quid. Bet stands.
No. Now, Pat and I are hardly speaking, and when we do, it's just to argue.
Yeah, well, that's swimming for you, isn't it?
Yeah. It's more than that, you know. This is... Pat lost the baby. She was too focused on a bloody promotion. She couldn't slow down. She wasn't looking after herself properly.
Yeah. What happened to the days when women stayed at home, you know? Looked after the house, the husband and the kids. Now they want to do it all, don't they?
This Lynn's a good mother. You know, I was thinking, listen, if I could go back there and live for the sake of the kids, I mean, they're my family. They need me. They rely on me. Pat doesn't need me for anything anymore. First, she didn't even want the baby. I was the one that persuaded her. Now the baby's gone. Yeah, she just blames me for everything that happened. She's just not the same person. Oh. She's seen Batchley as well.
What?
Yeah. Oh, she could talk to him, but she won't talk to me, you know.
Oh, you think that? No. No way.
Hey, they did before I came along, remember?
Well, you should confront him, sort it out.
Yeah. I should sort him out.
Mate, when I said sort it out, I didn't mean take him on, you know. He's a big bloody bloke.
Bigger they are, the harder they fall, Satch.
Mike!
Ashley! Open up!
There.
Hi.
There's only one thing I've got to say to you. If you haven't a scene with Pat, that's fine.
Whoa, hang on.
Because I'm finished with her, yeah? But I ain't finished with you. Come on.
Pack it in, Mike.
No, come on.
Leave it!
Come on, you big Jesse. You want to get a couple in? Come on. Come on.
What's going on?
Mike, this is Justine, my girlfriend. Justine, Mike Walker, my boss.
Pleased to meet you.
Come on. You all right?
I'm fine. Right, fine.
This way, please, madam. Will you put your bags on the table, please? Yes. Thank you. And step across to the female officer.
You can step this way, please. Just going to give you a rub-down search. If you could put your arms out like that, please.
I've come to see my daughter.
How are my wrinklies doing without me?
The social service has found places for all of them, and they've arranged for meals delivered to me. Nice woman, very pleasant. Gave me a buzzer connected to the telephone. If I fall or anything, I just have to press it. But I'm on my own. How long will you have to stay here, Kathleen?
How should I know?
This is terrible.
Well, you seem to be doing all right. Everyone running around after you. Then that's nothing new, is it?
I'm worried sick about this whole dreadful situation.
All you're worried about is yourself. That's all you've ever cared about.
That's not true. Now stop it. How do you know what I'm going through?
You've never cared about what I was being put through. We still don't.
I did care. I've always cared for you, Kathleen.
Cared a lot more for Daddy, though, didn't you? And he got away with murder, didn't he?
May God forgive you for saying that. Your father never had anything to do with those girls.
I wasn't speaking literally, Mother. I meant the way you treated me. The way you both abused me.
Abused you? How can you say such a thing? Why are you telling such terrible lies?
They're not lies. And you know it. If what my father did to me...
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! I won't listen.
Well, if you want me to continue keeping my mouth shut, then you better keep up those terrible lies. I'm only protecting you, Mother.
I only wanted the best for you, Kathleen.
You don't have to pretend now, Mother. I was never what you wanted. You brought me packets of crisps and bags of sweets to keep me quiet. But you never loved me. So you say one word against me, and I'll make you so ashamed about what went on.
Sorry.
I forgive you, Mummy.
Kathleen Norton, please sit down.
Sit yourself down, Derek. I thought it might be an idea if we had a little chat and a bite to eat before we meet Miss Norton. You've met Florence Campbell, of course.
Yes.
Help yourself. The more serious the case, the better the sandwiches the clerks provide. A triple murder rates the full Monty. Chicken salad and cheese and pickle.
Thank you. I'll remember to brief Tudor Chambers on all serial killer cases in the future.
Now, what have we got here? Yes, 3 murder counts, victims found buried on the defendant's property, 1 strangled with a belt, plus a stillborn baby found under the bedroom floorboards. Yes, now the medical evidence at least tells us that the baby wasn't murdered. The police, somewhat ungenerously, have decided to put down a count on the indictment of concealment of birth, contrary to Section 20 of the Offences Against the Person Act, 1861.
Kathleen admitted to the offence of concealing the baby in interview. Excuse me.
Not at all. Yes, she did. But even if she pleads guilty on that count, the Crown will still bring the evidence. They'll get it in as similar fact.
Oh. Right. The fact that we hide 1 dead body under the floorboards is evidence that we had something to do with the other 3 dead bodies found interred or entombed in the same property.
Exactly. No, we'll try to get the evidence excluded, but I don't think we'll succeed. Not for a moment. case against her is not exactly overwhelming. In fact, in some places it's terribly thin. I don't want to be sexist about this, but burying bodies under paving slabs and plastering over coal holes is, on first blush, somewhat of a male activity. You can't tell in these days of equal opportunity, but for choice, I'd go for something muscly and grizzled, wielding a spade and a cement mixer.
You haven't seen Kathleen yet, have you? That's not a bad description of her.
Highfield Prison, please.
There's very little forensic evidence against us, apart from our thumbprints under the buckle of a belt inconveniently found around victim number 2's neck. So obviously the fingerprint evidence isn't going to be helpful to the case, but as against that, there's Graham,
Richards?
That's right. Graham Richards has been good enough to come forward and claim ownership of the belt. So, on any view, given his undoubted paternity of our stillborn baby, we've had the trousers off him on at least one occasion. So our thumbprints on the buckle of the thing that held up those trousers isn't going to be fatal to our case.
You can do it, you know, without taking your trousers off.
It's comforting to have an expert on the team, Lawrence, but I'd keep my personal reminiscences to myself if I were you.
Vehicle registration number is Papa 809 Romeo Uniform. Over.
Thank you. Morning, officer.
Morning.
How much is that, please? We'd better ask her about her medical history, although I don't suppose for a moment that there will be one, or at least not in retrievable form. But more important than that, we want a psychiatrist to see her now. There's no medical or mental issues in the case on the face of our instructions. And all a psychiatrist is going to say is that women who have stillborn babies and hide them under floorboards tend thereafter to suffer a degree of depression. As against which, Kathleen seems to have survived the intervening years without too much trouble.
You know the main objection to her having bail was that she may harm herself. She was behaving pretty erratically at the police station.
Well, if she really wants to see someone, I suppose she can, but I'm not sure that I want to encourage it at this stage.
I agree. We could be opening up Pandora's box. Contents unknown.
Right, Lawrence, go and get a cup of tea, would you? Anything for you, Derek?
There's a machine outside in the corridor, Lawrence. White coffee, 2 sugars for me.
Oh, and find out who's prosecuting, will you, and let me know?
I already have. It's Willis Fletcher.
So, Derek, has Kathleen got any theories about how the 3 bodies ended up where they did?
She's not really given to the theoretical, is our Kathleen.
Do you have 50 pence?
For God's sake. You're going to have to start thinking pretty clearly about where those skeletons came from. I mean, corpses, unlike mushrooms, don't just grow in the dark. They have to be planted. On which light philosophical note, I'm beginning to wonder if Miss Norton hasn't escaped her captors. It's almost 2:30.
Well, surely it's not really a philosophical note, it's more of an agricultural, possibly even a...
As we in the world of mushrooms say, button it.
Kathleen, this is Mr. Halliday, who will be acting for your defence in court.
Good afternoon, Mr. Halliday.
It's not.
Have you? Oh, well, that's brilliant. What was his name? Yeah, sure I have. Well, I've got this meeting at 2, but ideally we should try to get together for a quick chat before then. Fine, yeah. I'll meet you there in about 15 minutes. Yeah, great. Hi. What are you doing here?
Well, I thought I'd come and take you out for lunch.
Why didn't you phone?
Hey, I wanted to surprise you. Look, if you're busy, sweetheart, it's not a problem.
I'm sorry. Any other day would have been fine, but I'm completely up to my eyes. I'm really sorry.
Hey, it's okay. It's my fault. I should have called. Hey, no problem. I'll see you later.
What about this Edward Colley chap and what he says about you looking at patient records? You understand the problem here, don't you?
No. What problem? I needed to find out about my own pregnancy because I was dealing with it all on my own.
But you were a nurse, weren't you?
Well, only part-time and on the geriatric ward.
But you see, the problem for us is that in amongst those records would have been the details of the 2 girls who ended up underneath the patio at Hallerton Road.
I didn't know that.
So Mr. Colley got it right. Did he? You were looking at medical files late one night.
Mr. Colley was only interested in one thing. How would he know what I was doing?
Well, what about, Hannah Day?
Who's she?
Mrs. Day says she met you outside the maternity unit and you discussed abortions with her?
I don't understand it. Why would a complete stranger make up lies about me? All I've done from the start is tell the truth.
No doubt Mr. Showman Halliday will use these to great effect in court.
Sad, isn't it? She was somebody's daughter. It's bloody tragic.
Just leave it with you, Satch.
I traced witnesses from the Rhinestone who all testified he beat girls up. He lied in interview and should have been charged.
But he wasn't. I mean, even if he did rough up a few hookers, that doesn't prove anything. Walker made the decision not to charge Richards, and we should stand by him.
Oh, if the hookers, it's okay to smack them around, is it?
That isn't what I meant, and you know it. Look, the Gov made the decision not to charge Richards, and we should stand by that. We shouldn't start going round behind his back.
Hey, I'm not going behind anybody's back. I have the right to question any decision that's been made, and that's all I'm doing. If Richards is our killer, he should be in court, on trial with Kathleen.
And you think Walker's letting him off the hook?
Whatever.
Whatever what?
Look, I know for sure Richards was into bondage and his bloody belt was found round her neck. Sorry. Look, Walker is not infallible. Nobody is. And I'm sure he's wrong about Graham Richards.
Do you remember Graham Richards wearing a belt like this one?
No, I've been asked this before.
Will you show me your right thumb? Now, this thumb, Miss Norton, came into contact with this buckle at some stage.
How do you know? You were there, were you?
Let's try and think clearly about this, shall we? As you know, the print on the back of this buckle was your thumbprint. So you must have handled the belt at some stage. Now take your time. We know this is Graham Richards' belt. So how do you think your print got onto his belt?
I don't know. Ask him.
I'm sure I shall if I get the chance. But first I'd like to hear your answer.
He raped me? You know that, don't you?
Do you think he may have been wearing that belt when he raped you?
He raped me and you're asking all these stupid questions.
Miss Norton, you're going to have to deal with this in court, so you might as well think about it now. I know it's very difficult for you.
Well, Mr. Halliday, it may have been that way. I just can't remember. Unless I picked it up when I cleaned his room. I probably rolled the belt up and put it away in a drawer.
Good, now that's excellent. From what you've said, the Crown will be able to establish through you that at the very least you had access to the belt. And they'll be suggesting that you could have taken it, perhaps from his room, and used it to strangle,
Ingrid
Kessler.
Kessler.
I don't care what they say. I never even met that poor girl! I'm so sorry. Did it get on your trousers? Here, have my...
No, it's quite all right. Accidents happen.
Yes, they do. And if I'd helped you take off your trousers, my thumbprint might have been on your belt.
Willis. Morning. Heard you're in court today.
For my sins. Court 5. And which court are you giving your weighty presents?
Not so much of the weighty, if you don't mind. You may or may not have noticed, but I've lost rather a lot of weight. I'm very calorie conscious these days.
Are Brother Whiskers part of the new image?
Just sick of being upstaged by you, Willis. So I hear you're prosecuting Kathleen Norton, is that right?
Ah, yes, Miss Norton. No wedding and 4 funerals. Now, let me guess. You want to know if I'll accept manslaughter? The short answer, I'm afraid, is no. On current information, we say that she's bad and not mad.
Well, I think we want to try and make things work, but, he's still finding it difficult to talk to me.
Pass the buck way, don't you? As you can see, I get blamed for bloody everything.
But that's not fair. That's not fair. Look, I'm fully aware that this isn't easy for you. God knows it's difficult enough for me. But you have got to make a bit of an effort. I think we ought to talk about the baby, and you can't even mention it. As far as you're concerned, it's happened and it's over, but I can't forget it that easily.
So, something's happened. You lost the baby. We've just got to learn to deal with it.
Actually, Mike, it's your loss, too. You lost a daughter. Perhaps we should spend some time talking about how you feel.
We have no indication of any history of mental illness, either at the time of the killings or since. And there was nothing said to the officers in interview to suggest any past or present mental aberration. Funnily enough, I listened to the interview tapes last night at home for exactly that reason, and she sounded pretty lucid to me. I'm sorry I can't be more helpful to you on this.
Oh, no, not at all. You've been very helpful indeed. Rather jumped the gun. I had no intention whatever of talking to you about a plea of manslaughter, but I'm always fascinated to hear your views, of course.
So if manslaughter wasn't on your mind, what was?
Well, of course, I'm very concerned about the concealment of birth. Count, she's pleading guilty to that, which is no great surprise to you to hear, but I'm very concerned that that evidence shouldn't appear in front of the jury. It's so prejudicial, and it has no bearing on the murder case at all, as I see it. Just think about it. I mean, the prejudice that that's going to create in the jury's mind will be absolutely overwhelming.
Well, you know, I'm not so sure about that. I mean, any prejudice might actually work in your favour and not against you. The jury might feel dreadfully sorry for her. No, I'm afraid you're going to have to raise this with only the trial judge if you wanted to exclude it. Well, I must get into court. I'll see you next week.
See you, pal. Since you and I have been together, it's changed my relationship with my kids and my family.
All right, so you do blame me for that, do you?
Pat, let him speak.
You wanted me to speak, so why don't you try and listen to me for a change? I don't feel as close to them as I used to. I certainly don't see them as much as I would like. You and Len make demands of me on my time, on my energy. And to be honest, you and Len are turning into the same nagging person.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. That's great. Comparing me to your psychotic wife.
I'm just trying to express how I feel. Everything is pressure, pressure, pressure. The baby was a chance for us to have a family, a new life. That was everything I wanted. I wanted a baby with a woman I love. But that's gone now. It's lost, but I can't believe you think I didn't want that baby as much as you. I wanted it more than anything, Pat. I really did. I wanted a proper family. I wanted to have a baby with you. Oh, God. Look, I'm sorry. This is really embarrassing.
This was our baby. And it's not about trying to be strong or blocking things out anymore.
I'm not blocking things out. I just try and see my way. So, come on, what are we going to do, huh? What's next after all this? That's what we're here for. Because I certainly don't know what to do next.
You've made a great sacrifice coming here today. Pat, I think you should see this as Mike's expression of his love for you.
It's true. I wouldn't be here if I didn't want to make a go of it and make it work. I'm sorry, darling. I just don't know how to say things.
Yeah, I know.
Good God. I didn't recognize you. Smooth as silk, eh?
But no doubt Winfield will allege conspiracy to confuse one of Her Majesty's judges.
Confuse Winfield? Oh, perish the thought.
Members of the jury, I should tell you at once that you may find some of the necessary details of this case distressing. It is inevitable that as judges of the facts, for that is what you are, you will have to consider the whens, the hows, and the whys of these deaths. You'll no doubt find your task the easier if you approach the material placed before you in this courtroom as dispassionately as possible. Try to leave emotion behind when you come into court so that you can try the case in accordance with your oaths, which you have just taken. Yes, Mr. Fletcher.
May it please your lordship, members of the jury, I appear together with Mr. Burgess for the Crown. The defendant, Kathleen Norton, is represented by my learned friends Mr. Halliday and Mr. Camplin. This case concerns a series of 3 murders, which took place, it would seem, some 17 years ago, at number 34, Hallerton Road, Kilburn, North London.
Now, Mrs. Day, you told us earlier that you went through with the birth. Did that take place at St. Jude's Hospital?
Yes, that's right.
What about the obstetrician? What was he like?
I'm sorry?
Well, was it a he or a she?
It was a man.
Tall, short, thin, fat? I know it's difficult after all these years, but just please do your best for us. Well, what about the midwife that attended you? What was she like?
I really can't remember.
You think it's unreasonable of me to ask you to remember about these people after all this time?
Well, it's the better part of 20 years ago.
Now, if I were to show you a group photo of the hospital staff that summer, like this one, would you be able to pick out the people?
Well, I'd have a pretty good guess, yes.
Well, that's very fair of you, Mrs. Day. Wasn't that what you were doing when the policeman showed you the photograph of all those nurses? Just having a pretty good guess? So you have an impressive memory. We can rely on it, and you, can we?
Of course you can.
Well, then, let me ask you about some events. Memorable events, a little closer to the present. Do you remember where you were on December the 6th, 1990?
No.
May the 16th, 1991?
No, I don't. What's this all about?
Well, let me remind you, since you can't recall. On those occasions, you were at the South London Magistrates' Court. Ring a bell?
Is he allowed to do this? It's got nothing to do with this.
Answer his questions, Mr. Collier.
Well, that was all a misunderstanding about some property.
2 misunderstandings, to be strictly accurate. On those occasions, you pleaded guilty to theft. Did you not? Theft of patients' property in the hospitals in which you were working.
If you've got all the frigging answers, why are you asking me? Oh, sorry, my lord.
Just help me out with this, will you? What was the property? What did it consist of?
I haven't got a clue.
No, I don't suppose you have. Any more than you have a clue about what happened on the night 17 years ago that you were telling us about.
No, it wouldn't be taking a step back, far from it. I mean, I've invested so much time. Yeah, and to be honest, I'm fed up with pen pushing. I want back in on the action. Yeah, exactly, and it makes sense that I'm the one who puts it into practice, but But I don't want to play second fiddle anymore. I want to head up murder cases. Well, that'd be great, yeah. If you let me know when and where, I'll make sure I'm free. Thank you, sir. Oh, and sir, I'd like to pick my own team.
My lord, I call Graham Richards.
Graham Richards.
Take the book in your right hand and read the words printed on the card.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Do you recognize either of the girls in this photograph?
No, I don't.
You see the one on the right, with the pink bikini bottom still on. That's Ingrid Kessler. You sure you've never seen her before?
I've just told you, no.
No, don't put the photograph down yet, please, Mr. Richards. Just look at the man in the table in the center. There. It isn't you by any chance, is it?
No. Doesn't even look like me. I've been through this.
The police seemed to think that it was you in the photo, didn't they?
Mr. Halliday, this witness cannot answer for what the police may or may not have thought.
Thank you, my lord. You were shown this photograph by the police some months ago during the inquiry.
Yes, I was, but that doesn't mean... I mean, this... Look, this doesn't make sense. You'll be suggesting I killed the girl next.
Not until my lord gives you a warning first, I won't.
Yes, Mr. Richards. I must tell you that if, whilst in the witness box, you're asked if you have a criminal conviction, you have the right not to answer that question if you do not wish to do so. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Thank you, Mr. Halliday.
Thank you, my lord. Well, did you?
Did I what?
Did you meet Ingrid Kessler in some strip club? And then, some time later, for whatever reasons you may have had, wrap your belt around her neck and throttle her till she was dead, and then bury her under the patio that you were building at 34 Hallerton Road?
No, I did not.
Thank you, Mr. Richards. You can put the photograph to one side now. So you helped to build the patio, did you?
With Philip, yes.
Philip. That's Philip Norton. But did one of you do the digging and the other lay the paving? Who did what?
Well, we both worked on it, but I did the bulk of the heavy work.
Well, laying a patio is nearly all heavy work. Quite a bit of digging, I should imagine.
Yes, to get it level.
So you both just got stuck in, did you?
I suppose so.
Do you see yourself as handy with a spade?
I don't understand.
Experienced, Mr. Richards. Are you experienced with a spade?
Well, yes, I've been around enough building sites in my time.
Well, perhaps you can help us. How long might it take a man to dig a hole 2 meters long, half a meter wide, and 1 meter deep?
Well, that would depend what you're digging.
London clay, Mr. Richards. London clay.
Well, that's quite difficult. Clay's hard work.
So, 2 such holes would take, I suppose, twice as long.
I don't follow.
Did you build 2 such holes, Mr. Richards?
No, I didn't.
And do you remember seeing anyone else doing that sort of digging?
No.
Philip Norton. But then, by all accounts, Mr. Norton's health was not of the best with his heart, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Kathleen Norton? Hardly a woman's job. Have you ever seen Kathleen Norton with a spade?
No, I haven't.
So if 2 holes were dug in the back garden of number 34. They were dug without your knowledge.
Of course.
And you don't recall seeing 2 areas of recently disturbed ground, just at about the time that your belt went missing?
No.
So you can't help us, then, as to how 2 young girls, both murdered, one with your belt wrapped round her neck, turned up under the paving stones, which you laid.
No, I can't.
And you didn't, by any chance, engage in any DIY in the area of the coal chute in the cellar, because the body of a young girl was found there, too?
How many times have I got to tell you? I know nothing about any of this.
Well, let me ask you another question, then. Were you Kathleen Norton's lover?
No, I wasn't.
But you did have sex with her once, didn't you?
Yes, well, I think I must have done, but as I told the police, I don't remember much about it.
Would you describe it as somewhat of a one-night stand, eh?
No, I wouldn't describe it as anything, as I remember nothing about it.
Did you have sex with her without her consent?
Once again, Mr. Richards, you do not need to answer that question if you do not wish to do so.
Well, did you rape Kathleen Norton?
No. No, I didn't. I wasn't even attracted to her. I ended up having to lock my door at night to keep her out.
Well, at least we agree on this, Mr. Richards. You had sex with her at least once, because you fathered her child.
Well, that's what the tests show, so I think I did, but as I've said, I can't remember much about that night. I was very drunk.
Yes, the DNA tests conducted early this year prove beyond a doubt that you are the father of the baby that was found under the floorboards at 34 Hallerton Road. I take it you didn't know about that either. Or did you?
What do you think I am?
That's not for me to say. Thank you, Mr. Richards.
I want to talk to you about Kathleen. I want to make a statement.
Miss Norton, I'm afraid there's been an unexpected development. It's with regard to your mother.
She's not had a stroke, has she?
No. We've risen because your mother is giving a statement to the police. And it looks as if they're going to ask her to stand as a prosecution witness.
She's senile. You can't believe a word she says.
Miss Norton.
And if you want the truth of it, my mother has always hated me.
Miss Norton, please, if you could just...
Whatever she says will be lies. And if you've come here to try and make me change my plea, then you've got another thing coming. You're supposed to be defending me. I'm not guilty. And I won't have you make me say that I am.
I have no intention of asking you to change your plea, and I will defend you to the very best of my ability. That's my job. I'm looking out for you, and I give you my absolute assurance...
You better do your job, Mr. Halliday, because nobody else is looking out for me. Even when I was a little girl, nobody cared what happened to me. Not even my father. He gave me one of those Russian dolls. He said it reminded him of me. They don't talk, they don't cry, they don't do anything. You unscrew the top, And inside there's another identical wooden doll and another, all with the same painted, expressionless faces. And all they do is get smaller and smaller until the last one was just the size of my thumb.
Kathleen, I shall be defending you in the very best way I know how. I give you that assurance. Whatever your mother says.
She never wanted to know who I was. Do you know, Mr. Halliday, there aren't just 7 sins. The 8th sin is the mother who does not love her daughter because she is not in her image. If you unscrew my head, there's another painful Kathleen underneath. Layer upon layer of pain. Please don't let her hurt me anymore.
See you in there.
Mrs. Norton, you lived at number 34 Hallerton Road, Kilburn, from May 1976 to September 1984.
Yes.
And towards the end of 1982, your daughter, Kathleen, fell pregnant. Now, were you aware of this?
Yes.
How did you learn of this pregnancy?
At first, I thought she was just putting on weight. But towards the end, I knew.
Keep your eyes on Kathleen. By the end?
Just before the baby was born.
The baby was born prematurely, wasn't it?
It was stillborn.
Did Kathleen tell you that?
She didn't have to. I was there.
Miss Norton, what did Kathleen do with her stillborn baby?
I said we should give it a Christian burial, but she wouldn't let me help. She said she would take care of it.
Take care of it?
She said she would bury the baby.
And where would that be?
She didn't say, and I didn't ask.
So you never knew where the baby was buried?
Well, a few weeks later, I heard a noise late one night down in the cellar, and when I went to investigate, I saw Kathleen putting some kind of putty around the door of the coal chute. And when I asked her what she was doing, she said she was burying her baby.
Burying her baby? In a coal chute? Doesn't sound like a very Christian burial to me.
I tried to talk her round, bury it properly, but she wouldn't listen.
When you say this was a few weeks after she gave birth?
Yes.
Did she tell you where the body of the baby had been until this time?
No, I didn't want to think.
Did you believe her when she said she was hiding the baby in the coal chute?
Yes.
Now, the access door to the chute was plastered over and covered with chipboard cladding. Who carried out this work?
My husband did.
Did he know about the baby?
I told him it was for security. I said I was afraid of people coming in from the outside.
So he didn't know about the baby being buried?
No.
Would you wait there, please?
Mrs. Norton, you've just testified that you were present at the birth of your daughter's baby. Why didn't you call an ambulance?
I wanted to, but she wouldn't let me. She said she was a nurse and she knew what she was doing.
In your statement to the police, you said that you knew nothing of your daughter's pregnancy.
Yes.
That was a lie, wasn't it? You lied, didn't you? Why?
Because I was so ashamed. Because Kathleen had told me that my husband was the father of her baby.
And you believe me? Ask her why she
Miss
believed
Norton,
me.
if you interrupt these proceedings again, I'll have to have you removed from court. Now, please remain silent. Continue, Mr. Halliday.
Not. Your husband wasn't surprised at your sudden concern for security? The other end of the chute, which led onto the street, had been blocked up since before you moved in, hadn't it?
Yes. I had to tell him. Tell him that I knew about him and Kathleen and that he was the father of her baby.
Mrs. Norton.
You killed him! His heart couldn't take the strain.
Members of the jury, would you be so kind as to go to your
It
room?
wasn't his baby at all. It was all lies.
Mrs. Norton. Mrs. Norton, I'm going to rise for a few minutes to allow you to compose yourself
He
before I
deserved it after
resume
what
with
he
the
did
jury.
for me. You knew what was going on. You just ignored it.
Miss
And he
Norton!
paid the good
Be
bit.
silent!
You hit
I
my
will not tolerate
brain.
this kind of
Those
behaviour
women
in my
deserve to die. I was just doing God's
warn you
work.
again.
They didn't
If you
deserve
don't do
anything.
as
They were
I say-
all whores. It was God's will that I should take their lives.
Take her downstairs.
As a punishment. He took my daughter to show me the way. He took
Satch. Thanks. Pat? Pat?
What?
The suitcases. What are you doing with these suitcases?
Oh, we're a bit short of space, so I'm packing away some clothes that I don't need. Why? Are you all right?
Oh, you put a fear of God in me. I thought you were leaving me.
Me? Leave? I found this place, you cheapskate. If anyone's going to be leaving, it'll be you. Who decorated it? Who chose the carpet? Who fixed the toilet flush?
Well, I am not going anywhere.
Oh, that's a shame. I was thinking of renting out a spare room to Vivian. Oh, my. Yeah, big softy. You really thought I was leaving.
No, I didn't. But hey, look, I've got something for you.
Anyway, what are you doing here? Why are you at court? Did they break early?
No, it's over. Kathleen flipped in court, and the last I heard, she was tearing apart the holding cell.
Did she kill those women?
Yeah, she said she did.
Why?
Well, she was psychotic. She went nuts after she lost the baby. And then when her mother testified against her in court, I think that pushed her over the edge.
Oh, God. Do you think if she'd had the baby, I mean, if the baby had been born okay...
I don't want to talk about Kathleen Norton anymore. I don't want that horror or that sadness invading our home. Will you please sit down?
Why? What's she doing, Mike?
Have a seat. This is for you.
Oh.
It is rose diamonds and a ruby. And I designed it myself. Give me a finger. No, your engagement finger. 'Cause I love you very much, and I want to marry you. And I think you are the most beautiful and intelligent woman that I know. And shit, why won't this go on? Oh, shit, but it should fit. I took your ring with the little pearls on it to make sure.
Not the one that my grandmother left me that was in the jewellery box?
Yeah.
No, Mike, I never wear the seat pearl ring. It's far too small.
Oh,
No, it won't. It won't. Honestly, I promise you. It's not going to fit. I mean, it is really beautiful, and, it... I'm sorry. I mean, and the trouble that you've gone to.
What are you laughing at? I think this is really tragic. What?
Oh, dear.
Yeah.